Yes. Yes, yes. Why, yes, yes. Everything we talk about tonight is between consenting.
Cinematic and erotic thrills. Kinky people talking about films. Nicholas Tanek in a triple bill. He's a film buff guru, cult hero, tickling whatever you will. What gives you satisfaction? It's a YKF cinema show.
Yes. It's the YKF Cinema Show. My name is Nicholas Tanek. My name is Nicholas Tanek.
Well, so it was real quiet. You never know. That's the point.
Exactly. You never know. You never know, Griselda. My name is Nicholas Tanek. This is the YKF Cinema Show. It's kinky people talking about films, cinema. It's a culture. Kink is a culture, and they blend and they feed off each other, and it's a beautiful thing. I'm trying to document the influences and how film influences kink culture and how kink influences film, and a beautiful symbiotic relationship. Everything we talk about is consensual. We're adults. It's a culture. We're good people. We pay our taxes. We help old ladies across the street. We are. Wonderful. Freedom of speech. Beautiful thing. And this is all between consenting adults. Today's oh God, we got a good one. Today's episode is training day. And wow, we have a guest. So tonight we dive headfirst into the corrupt, chaotic, adrenaline-soaked world of training day. It's one day, one rookie, and one king of the streets who will break every rule and everybody in his path. So it's about power, about control, fear, betrayal, loyalty, all the things that happen in the kink community. Why is a kink show talking about training day? Well, if you're kinky, you'll get it. Let's just put it that way. We're talking about domination and submission and power, loyalty. And there's no better person I'd rather unpack this with than my crime correspondent of YKFCinema show. Oh my God, she's the one woman haunted house herself, high protocol sadist, ritualistic artist, an intellectual predator. Ladies and gentlemen, everybody in between, please bow down. Just welcome Griselda Venum. Thank you very much for being here.
King Kong ain't got shit on me.
Right on. Yeah. All right, let's make it happen. Oh, everybody. Okay. All right. So let's first of all, everybody, you can go to yourkinkyfriends.com. You can get 15% off at lockedinlust.com with the offer code YKF. And also, please, we always need money. Every show could be our last, so Cash App, capital YKF, lowercase Tanek. So, what is Training Day? Training Day is a film. Training Day is a 2001 American crime thriller film directed by Antoine Fuqua, and it's directed by David Ayer. It stars Denzel Washington as Alonzo Harris. Ethan Hawke is Jake Hoyt. They're LAP narcotics officers. Jake Hoyt is a rookie, basically, and it's based on the Rampart case, loosely based on the LA Rampart case, which is, look into this case. Also, there's a movie with Woody Harrelson about loosely based on it. Also, the original title of this was Rampart. And there is another something that I'd like to say about this, but I gotta find it. Hold on a second. I sent it to you. It was I always start the show with this fact, and the show is Fallen by Alicia Keys was the most popular song in the U.S. and major global hit when Training Day was released. So let's just get started. Griselda Venum,
What's up?
tell us the first time you saw Training. Where were you and who you were?
I was in the theater with my dad, and I think maybe one of his girlfriends. I don't remember. But I was way too young to see it. It was 2001, so I was probably like 12. And it affected me deeply for many years. I'm 36 now, and I'm still living in a Training Day world.
What was your initial gut reaction to Denzel Washington? He won the Academy Award for this. He's absolutely electrifying. Every single scene he's in, and I mean everything he's in. There's a podcast. Shout out to W. Kamau Bell. He has a podcast called Denzel Washington is the greatest actor ever. Period.
Really?
Yeah. It's all about Denzel Washington movies.
That's awesome.
Yeah. And the new one, the new Spike Lee is amazing. But let's get the training back. So, what was your initial gut reaction to Denzel?
I mean, like I said, I was 11 or 12 years old, so like I can only kind of imagine what my reaction was at that time. But I would imagine I thought he was pretty badass because I still think he's badass now. And I was watching some commentary about his character earlier, and they made a really good point is that in the original version, Alonzo was supposed to survive, and Denzel Washington had way more to do with producing this film than just being.
Oh God! He fired the director.
He fired the director, got a new director. He most of the best scenes of the movie were all stuff he improvised and added into the thing. Ethan Hawke was casted simply because he was the only person that didn't like drown next to Denzel Washington, but they wanted Alonzo's character to survive, and Denzel was like no, because then there's no moral justice, and then he also figured it was setting it up for a franchise, and he was not feeling that either. So
he also there would be a sequel, and he also wrote the scene between him and his kid.
Really? I didn't know that one.
To add a whole element. So
that seems right, because that's like the one part of the film where you kind of get this feeling that, so the whole film, right, is about like how good guys can be bad guys and how bad guys can be good guys and how sometimes you got to be in the middle and all that. But there were glimmers of Alonzo being a halfway decent human, and the scenes with his son, you kind of saw that, but it was a very small part of him. It was probably part of him that got lost a long time ago.
And also, they were going to cut the Wiseman scene too, and I'm glad they didn't, because it shows that he's just a part of the bigger problem as well.
Right.
So let's start from the beginning. Training Day has Alonzo. Denzel Washington plays Alonzo, who leads an elite group of detectives. In L.A. Ethan Hawke. It's one day. It's his first day. He wakes up. He's got a kid. He's got a wife. They were talking about houses and money, and they got a future. They have a future. He used to play football. And then he meets her, and it takes him on this horrible, crazy coke. It's like this. I felt like I was on coke the whole entire time. Well,
an adrenaline rush feels kind of like that.
Yeah,
for sure.
At the time, when I first saw this movie, I was I'll admit it. I've admitted it on the show. I was doing drugs. I was very much into the culture of the drug culture and hip hop culture as well. So I was like the soundtrack. I knew before the soundtrack came out, way before the movie did. Like I was on to that too. But let's play a game throughout this show.
Oh Lord.
Let's play all the times Jake would have died. So Jake, he played by Ethan Hawke. There are so many times where I was like, why didn't they just kill this person? Realistically,
there would be no movie.
Oh, I get that, but realistically,
this is why, because there was never any points like Alonzo was very reckless with Jake's life, but he never intended to kill him until the very last scene where he dropped him off at the gang member's house and left him there. Those were all shows of force and ways of taking power and control and forcing him and using fear to force him to do what he wanted to do. He didn't want to kill him. He was using him as a pawn.
Yeah, definitely. So we're gonna throughout the movie, throughout this episode, every time we're just thinking, Jake probably would have been killed or died or something like that. Not be left on a roof.
I'll take a sip of iced tea every time.
All right, we've talked before about how Tarantino films inspire your cinematic grindhouse style clips, because you do. There's a lot of doms out there making content and everything like that. You have that certain style. There's a grittiness to it, the grindhouse kind of style, aesthetic, which I love, especially for a film lover, right? So watching Training Day again through a dominant high protocol lens, right? Right? How does it hit differently for you?
The power dynamics and the methods of control and the specific things Alonzo does to dominate and manipulate the situation are just way more obvious to me. Like I can see it, like it's once you get really, really familiar with power and control and how it works and how to shift it and how to view it in a scenario, it's an acquired skill, but it's really useful, and you see it almost like an equation, you know what I mean? Like a algorithm, sort of.
Yes. All right. This is something I think would be very fun. The best lines. Now, watching this movie, we both love this movie. We've been talking about this movie since we met, actually. And we've been talking about this too. I've been going through like the last 2 days, just not quoting lines. I'll admit it, quoting lines. And there's so many good ones. There's so many good ones.
I feel like I do that all the time in life, and I have been since I saw this movie.
Yeah, right.
Not even.
Let me
it's
load up my
definitely been more
guns.
frequently. Yeah, that was one of his improvised scenes that he just added that to it. The guns where he rubs the guns together. That he made that up on the spot. He did a lot of stuff to scare the people he was working with where they didn't expect what he was going to do. So the looks on their face where they're confused and they don't know what he's going to do next, that's all really genuine.
Let me load up my guns. All right. Here's the cuck holding thing. Now I was like, this kink wise, it really kind of does everything except for sissies. It's got cuck holding with this line. If you need somebody, if you need a son, let me know. I'll hook your old lady up. Breeding. So I was watching this, and Sunshine was like, breeding. That's a breeding.
Oh, yeah. Yep.
And then there's this famous one.
You gotta control your smiles and cries, because that's all you have, and nobody can take that away from you.
He's still high on PCP.
Yeah.
He's definitely on PCP. Like, he's supposed to sound stupid when he says that.
When I was on PCP, I had these amazing, not memorable, but these amazing thoughts. And now I don't remember any of them.
That's kind of how that goes.
Yeah. What is your opinion about that line? Because that's the line that really is supposed to, whether it does or not, resonate with everybody, and especially with him. It's supposed to make people connect with him. Anybody.
Is it?
Yeah.
That made me just laugh at him.
Oh, of course. 100%. But as what I think the writer's trying to do and what he's trying to do, the show literally his vulnerability, hoping that somebody can connect with, as a human, to feel bad for him. Be like, yeah, that's kind of right. That's funny. Very funny that you thought that. So, best lines. Which nut do you want? Do you ever do that?
I'm gonna. I haven't yet, but I'm gonna. I mean, I've probably done variations of that, but I'm straight up going to I'm going to recreate the scene. Obviously not with guns, but.
For those who, because it'd be better if you create the scene. Can you describe what I'm talking about when I say which nut you want?
Yeah, so there's the scene where Hoyt, as they're driving past some alley, he sees some young girl getting roughed up, which this is a turning point in the movie because this is what saves his life in the end. And I'm going to talk more about whether I think Hoyt is a wolf or a sheep later. He's, in my opinion, he's something else, but this is what shows that. And so they stop by, and I thought it was the part I really like about that scene is how Denzel just like lets him get beat up by the crackheads, and he's standing there, like lights a cigarette, watches him, like he's just letting him, he wants to see if he has that dog in him. And and he also part of the thing that he points out later is that Hoyt ends up using a chokehold that he's not supposed to use. So he uses that incident to try to, carve away at his values and his integrity. And like, it's a slippery slope. You do one thing that's unethical and then the next thing, and that's a big part of it. So anyways, eventually Alonzo gets involved because Hoyt wants to arrest these guys, and he doesn't really actually care about any of that. He just wanted to beat him up or whatever. So
yeah, I'm sorry.
So he has the crackhead up against the fence.
Yes,
And
yes.
yeah, so he pulls out 2 guns and he rubs them together like this,
You can hear it,
and yeah, taunts him, and that's the way that
He's
he
crying.
does that. Yeah, that's how I seen like that moment. That scene is very Griselda Venum, because I like to like ask questions. Like I ask them strange questions where they don't know what I'm about to do, and like I might like. Alonzo does a lot of stuff where he misleads you about what he's about to do. Like, for instance, in the King Kong scene where he grabs for the cigarettes, but not the gun, but it shows you how close he can get to the gun. You know what I mean? It's something like that. He uses a lot of like steps and fear tactics, but he tells him to pick a nut, and then he flips the guns around, and then he takes the butts of 2 guns and smashes them right in the balls. And God, I bet that felt great. And then he says,
Now,
I'm thirsty.
that is actually one of my favorite lines.
Damn, I'm thirsty.
I don't know why that sticks to me. It's like, I don't know if you ever saw National Lampoon's Vacation with Chevy Chase. There's a scene with him and Brian Doe Murray, and shout out to Tom Sharpling, John Worster from the Best Show. They made this famous. There's a scene where it just stands out, and he's like, why? He's filling out his form. He's at the place with the tents. He's filling out the form. He's like, why do you want my address? And he's eating Brian Doe Murray's eating a watermelon. He goes, we'd like to send out a mailer. And I don't know why, but that little line resonated with me my whole life. When
there's other lines of other movies that have stuck with me like that too.
I don't know why, but when I first saw this, me and my brother, we were also very hard. When we first saw this, we saw this.
Damn, I'm thirsty.
And I thought, after all that, everything that happened, that's what he was like. I'm thirsty. So we started doing that every time something like crazy happened.
I'm definitely going to use that in the dungeon for sure.
Yeah. So back to which nut you want, though. I had to do this. I was talking about this at the Manor, right? And so I wanted to play a little game with you. It's which nut do you want game. All right. What tool implement would you have in your dungeon that would be best to play? Which nut? To ask that question, be like to have some tool. You're doing something to the nuts, and they have to choose which one. They're left or they're right, and you're holding an implement. What implement are you holding?
Probably. Well, I have this like tiny pain stick. It's literally just like a piece of metal stick, and I really enjoy that because it makes them feel like they're gonna, like I'm really gonna pop it. But also like a violet wand would be good for that, or a cane maybe. That's probably because you can. They're small. You know, you don't want too big. Definitely. Whips are fun, but you got to be really skilled with that not to fuck somebody up.
All right. Some other favorite lines. You have to decide whether you are a wolf or a sheep. Man, that resonates with me every day of my life, pretty much. Another one. This is improvised. Great. You want to go to jail? You want to go home? No. I was thinking in a BDSM sense, that could mean multiple things.
Yeah.
You know, here's an interesting. When you kill someone on duty, they become your slave in your head.
I thought that was, of all the like one-liners that he uses in that movie, that one to me stuck out the most as being
forced.
Like, I want to say it was like he was really showing how fucking evil he was right there. Like it was like a slippery slope of how much he was letting show, and it was almost like that was him just like, you know. Did
you think though, compared to the other dialogue and the writing of it, did it seem a little out of place?
I did think it seemed out of place, to be honest with you.
Not the only one then. Okay,
yeah.
This is great. I mean, I've seen this on local access commercials for lawyers. It's not what you know, it's what you can prove.
That's real shit.
And this is my absolute favorite. This shit ain't chess. This shit is chess. It ain't checkers.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, this is a very important line that gives everything away. So basically, what happens is Denzel Washington, Ethan Hawke, they go on basically bust after bust. They just shake down people, and they're just robbing people through the whole entire race. And the whole entire day. Meanwhile, because Denzel's trying to get money to pay off a debt from Russians from Las Vegas.
Because he beat somebody to death.
he beat someone to death.
And he was
So
an
it's
important Russian.
Yeah. So think about it. It's like you're taking orders from a drug addict or a gambling addict or that kind of energy, that kind of bank robbing, fucking criminal energy, you know? So everything goes through. Then he kills his partner, Roger, or not his partner. He kills his CI, Roger, with a whole task force of people, takes his money, like $2 million, tries to share it with Ethan Hawke. Ethan Hawke says no. Right then and there, I'm surprised he wasn't murdered.
I am too, honestly, because Denzel's pretty ruthless. So, but the thing about people like him, right, is that so his main flaw and what offed him in the end, and also the person I'm named after, Griselda Blanco, very similar story. Absolute power corrupts absolutely. He takes it too far. Some people that really get off on power and control, they get reckless because they get a sense of invincibility, and he thinks that he's just whatever happens, he can just keep being in control. And that's even like the King Kong scene. That's what it's all about, is about him having to delude himself that there's no way he can lose.
Denzel improvised the King Kong scene line, actually. But the main reason I told that story, I was moving the story of the movie along, is because after that, he goes to the house and basically sets him up. The one line that really tells the story of what's going to happen next is when he signs his death warrant.
Yep. I actually never noticed that there's a very small moment right before that happens.
Before that, when he goes, make sure the tub is clean.
Make sure the tub's clean. And I never noticed that line till I watched it.
Actually,
I rewatched the movie today.
That was the line I wanted to show on the screen.
Yeah. Make sure the tub is clean.
He's in the car.
I might pull that out in a scene. Like sometimes I'll get my phone out and act like I'm calling somebody else, or I might actually call somebody else who knows that I'm in a scene to like respond back to me. But I might like just for my own pleasure, you know.
Use me. You can call me up. Yeah, call me up. Say Nicholas Tanek, your kinky friends are gonna broadcast this all.
Yeah.
With your consent. I would never broadcast anything without anyone's consent. I would say that.
Yeah, me. But yeah, I totally will pull out a phone and give somebody a call sometimes during a scene and pretend that they're, you know, some other criminal that I'm going to be dropping the victim off to.
Get the shovels, get the lye, right? Oh, the bone saw. Make sure you get the bone saw. Make the good bone saw too, not the bone. So, all right, we got some comments. Head Cheese says, "Hiya, everybody. Hiya, Head Cheese. What's up?"
Hey.
Oh, what a name for a podcast. Thank you very much. Chris Bako, yes, forgive me for being tardy. Both of you.
I think I know him from Twitter.
Yes, Chris is awesome. Chris is Chris has been a part of the show. He's a part of the show. He's a great contributor.
Hi.
I love Chris. Yeah, he's been watching the World Cup.
Nice.
And Sunshine. Hi, Griselda. So happy to have you back on YKFCinema show for Training Day.
Hi, Sunshine.
All right, let's get back to the questions. I love. All right, let's get back to the question. One of your signatures is fear play, psychological pressure. So, which scene in Training Day best captures the kind of slow building dread and power that you'd love to create with that?
So my initial answer would have probably been the scene where with the two crackheads, because that's a really good example of how he scares the shit out of them, and then all he ends up doing is just hitting them in the nuts, and they have no idea if they're going to die or not. But a close second to that would be the bathtub scene, because
the cards or the bathtub.
Yeah, although that's less calculated. You know, it's not. No. It's definitely like you don't know what's going to happen. However, it's kind of the opposite, where he's like surprisingly gets out of it in the end.
The card scene when he's there, you know, as a viewer, the first time you view, you're like, you know, he's fucked.
Like, when he sits down at that table.
Yeah.
So that was another thing I saw in one of the analyses that I watched earlier, was when Ethan Hawke arrived to the set, they didn't so he sat down at that table and those guys started using lines that he didn't know they were going to use. So, and I think they actually filmed it actually in the projects too, because I know they filmed a lot of it down there.
Yeah.
So again, it's another one of those scenes where the looks of confusion and fear and not knowing what's coming next is real, because the director set them up.
they have to, a lot of wild stories from the set. They had to pay off gangs for protection. The car got stolen. The car got stolen for a day and came back like better.
Everybody told them, don't film there. You can't film there. They're never going to let you in there. And they were the first. That was the first time that the LA gangs let a filmmaker into their neighborhood.
See, that's the beauty of it. As someone who loves hip hop music, I was following. I'm a huge fan of Barrow Monch. I knew him since Organized Confusion, and he was on the soundtrack. So that hyped me up to the movie. I love film. I was doing drugs at the time, so like drug culture and hip hop coming together.
It's very real. As somebody who grew up in the hood, I didn't grow up in LA, but I've grown up in other hoods. I live in pretty close to the hood now. They're just doing wheelies on dirt bikes outside my house a minute ago.
But here's a great situation of how the energy of hip hop culture, right, can get a movie like this made or help. You get Denzel Washington.
Yeah, the dude who wrote the script was from that neighborhood, so it was all very real. Like they asked him, like, where did you get this idea? And there was like criticisms of how race was handled and things like that. And he said basically like that's just what I saw when I grew up. Like I didn't. It wasn't contrived. It was just the reality that he saw.
Exactly. Now, speaking of you have an interrogation scene. How would you run an interrogation scene with like Alonzo energy?
I'd probably do it similar to that that nut scene. I have done interrogation scenes that were probably low-key inspired by Alonzo. There'd definitely be black leather involved.
Yes.
For sure. And there would be a lot of psychological taunting and making strange jokes that will make you.
I have to admit, talking about leather, I have to admit, I had like a similar. I've had that jacket, that style jacket that Alonzo's got. That was
that's like very early 2000s.
Yeah.
With totally. And he's got the big cross necklace and stuff too. There is so much religious imagery in this movie too. Like for instance, one thing I noticed is when Hoyt's in the bathtub, that whole bathroom is all covered in Virgin Mary and rosaries and all that shit. And it's like the juxtaposition of like a murder happening in a room that's covered in like the shower curtain had Jesus on it. I think it was either Jesus or like Virgin of Guadalupe or something.
Now this is the YKFCinema show. We love film. So if we were going to produce, we're a film company, Griselda. We're producers. We're producers, and we got to produce a BDSM dominatrix version of Training Day. So that means there's an experienced dom who's like people are fucking terrified of, and then there's a mentor. It's the Training Day. And it turns into a nightmare. So what would be the first, like, I guess, client, quote unquote, client or someone that they would rob?
The first person they'd rob?
Yeah, would they rob a sissy first? Would they rob a gimp first?
No, they'd rob somebody who's hurting a woman, probably. Just like those crackheads.
Yeah. Okay. So like a bad dom, like a shitty douche canoe dom, like
they're just an abusive male of some kind.
Yeah.
Like I saw some videos on Twitter or something, or there's like this lady in Africa somewhere who her job is basically she goes, if a man's abusing somebody, she goes there with like a squad and just like mobs on him. And I don't know if she offs them or runs them out of town or beats them up or whatever, but like I could see that being a kind of thing. Like you just go find some corrupt, abusive male and we'll take him out.
Did you know that there was a spin-off show, a TV show? It was one season.
No.
Yeah.
I don't know if I like that.
No, Bill Paxton was in it.
Who's Bill Paxton?
Twister.
Okay, I know who that is.
Yeah, and also
that's weird. He doesn't.
I didn't see it. I did not see it.
Was it called Training Day?
I believe so. Yes. So let's talk about specific scenes in King Connections. All right, the ride along is basically a non-stop boundary testing, psychological warfare. What does the film get right about like the slow erosion of control that most movies miss?
It's a step-by-step process of manipulation, domination, finding out your target's weakness, beginning to erode their sense of self. That's what happens with with Jake and his sense of identity and his values, Alonzo constantly is putting him in positions where he's got to question himself and to push him and push his boundaries and see where he'll crack. And that can take a really long time, but he does it and he even does it very subtly. So throughout the whole movie, like, Jake really doesn't have a good idea of what's going on until I took notes, and I put that there was a part where it was like the turning point. Hold on.
When the music kicks in, did you know that there's no music for like the first hour?
I didn't even really notice that.
Yeah.
I focused so much on the dialogue. So after the Roger shooting, right? Like, even during that, he's like like he's trying to give him the money and he's joking and he's like, no, I don't take it, right? Like, he still is, he's not in touch with what the reality is yet, because Alonzo's been playing with his sense of reality by saying that this is normal and trying to make it seem like what they're doing, like, that's why he goes along with all that shit. Jake didn't want to do any of that stuff, but he just gets drug into it a little bit at a time, and then he's in so deep. Now how does he get out?
Drug into it.
What's when? Butt naked. Ill. Turn. Dust. Primo. Ego. That's what you had. That's what you were smoking. You didn't taste it.
No, I never done it.
You have now. I haven't tasted
I love that. As someone, as someone who's actually been on Angel Dust many times, I'm not proud of it. I'm not bragging. I think that it's fucking, it's dangerous. It's a dangerous drug, and I do not recommend it. But I have to say, it kind of does capture the intense, severe, otherworldly fucked upness of the high of it. It's unlike anything you'll ever experience, that anyone else will ever experience. It's like traveling into other dimensions. The weird thing is that the first time you do something like that, you're usually fucked up for the day. You can't do what he does. Like, does, like, after, like, real Angel Dust will, like, knock you on your ass. You can't, like, go around robbing people within the cop, you know. Like, if you never did it before, so that's one of the unrealistic things. But, you know, it could be sprinkled with a little bit light, maybe.
Yeah, like, there's parts of it where you almost kind of forget he was on the PCP because he's acting normal enough, and then there's little glimpses, like when he says the thing about the smiles and cries, and I'm like, this dude's so high.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Control your smiles and cries, because that's all you have. And nobody can take that away from you.
That's all you have. Like, I used to be a bartender. I've heard people talking like that many times. That's all you have. You don't know what the fuck he's saying.
They try to be all poignant, you know.
And I'm like, you sound like a moron.
I've been that guy. Shit, I'm just like, when I'm sober, I'm sometimes that guy now. You know, a liver transplant will do that to you. You know, you get very emotional and stuff like that.
Oh yeah.
All right. Let's have some fun. If you were inserting yourself into the film as Griselda Venum, where would you appear and what role would you play?
You know, you spelled my name wrong. You know that, right? Uh-oh. Somebody might need a punishment.
Okay.
I put that on a spelling test for a scene. I did like a school teacher scene. And if he got that one wrong, he was just going to fail the whole thing. But he got that one right. He got everything else wrong. Okay, if I was inserting myself into the film, I would be probably some other, I'd be like some woman that's involved with the gangs, who's like some behind the scenes boss type lady, or like I'd come out during the King Kong scene and be like, Alonzo, get the fuck out of here, and pistol whip him or something. I'd be some shot caller that's just like a small role in it.
All right. In the film, loyalty and betrayal are constantly tested. In your dynamics, how do you test your loyalty when it comes to, you know, with yourselves? But you still got to be unpredictable. Usually loyalty comes with the comfort of of discipline.
Yeah.
You know, being certain that this person will do everything. You know, you can depend on them, be reliable, stuff like that. But You keep things unpredictable because that's fun and energetic, and it makes it hot. It makes it a good seat. So how do you keep the trust and loyalty while keeping that unpredictability? Let's rob a bank energy.
It's all about time, and it's all about balance. So there has to be, stop it. There has to be sorry, my dog's barking. There has to be some kind of balance to it, and I find that my unpredictability is what for them keeps them coming back, because I pull out little pieces of them and I start throwing pieces of them at them, and then they can see that I'm starting to get inside their mind. So I think that my unpredictability tends to actually is what makes them loyal. But as far as assessing whether they're loyal and whether they're actually committed, and it all just takes time, because anybody can play a role for a short period of time. Usually the submissives that come off as the most devoted, and they overdo it so much. Like, overdoing it in the beginning is always a red flag to me now, because I've had it where they seem like they're going to be the best submissive ever, and like 2-3 weeks go by and they become an entirely different person because they were just acting, like they were just being what they thought you wanted them to be, and it's not actually their character, and they can't keep it up. And it's the same with dating, to be honest with you, or with any kind of relationship, and whether you're assessing whether you can trust them. I watched people's actions and whether they match what they say. So there's I can't remember the concept but there's like a concept in mental health that talks about whether your values and your actions align, and whether it's sometimes they won't align and sometimes they will, and they can be signs of different things. But for me, it's a super big red flag if somebody's telling me one thing and they are doing actions that show me something else. I automatically begin to suspect that they're not being real with me.
All right, you love extreme role play. We talked about abduction. We talked about consensual, non-consensual, and execution themes. Now, let's say you're designing a training day style role play scene. You're taking them around. It's all consensual. It's all negotiated. What do you include? What else?
Oh, so we're like doing the whole day, like we're going through the city streets and stuff like that.
Yeah, you can do anything you want to.
Well, I'd probably take him to a glory hole. That would be one of the challenges. And let's see, what else would I do? I'd probably lock them up somewhere and leave them there, some kind of abandonment sort of situation. Maybe leave them, drop them off with another dom who's going to torment them. That would be fun. And then, I guess there'd have to be some point of the training, right? So like, what would I be training them to do? I'd have to come up with a narrative for that.
Okay.
Would we be cops?
Yeah, you could be. You can be anything you want. It has to be like, you have to be like the corrupter.
Yeah, I can do that. I can handle that role.
See how deep of the I've been switched. Have this Mormon or this altar boy, or get it like a right-wing Christian MAGA person.
Oh, one time my one sub, he was like a really like hardcore Democrat with like TDS and like really like angry, like just hated Donald Trump. So I made him put on a MAGA hat and spanked him and thanked Daddy Trump for his spankings for his birthday. And
oh God,
yeah, I'll do it in reverse. It's not a political thing for me. It's a
I get
thing for me.
I 100%.
But yeah, that was pretty awesome.
Yeah.
I do like corruption though. Corruption's fun.
Like corruption. All right, so that goes to another question I wrote. So you said extreme role play feels like writing a movie script. What's a training day inspired scene that you've done or you'd love to do?
The interrogation that I did with Catsuit, I posted some videos of that on my X recently. I did that at a party, and I did it behind closed doors so everybody could hear him screaming, but they didn't know what I was doing to him, so it was almost like kind of a show for the party too, because they were like guessing like what was going on in there. And there was another time I did a really long scene where it was like an abandonment prisoner abduction type scene, and that was one of the ones where I was like using the phone to call other people, where it was like I was going to be dropping them off to some human trafficker or something, you know, stuff like that.
And shout out to Catsuit from Authentically Kinky.
Yes.
Yeah, shout out to him. Would you rather be Alonzo, absolute chaotic power, or the force that ultimately breaks?
So interestingly enough, I kind of feel like Griselda Venum is Alonzo, which is like my shadow self, right? Like that's like my evil, corrupt, violent, narcissistic, fucking like cult leader, warlord side. And me as a human being, I am a person who protects the vulnerable and uses that dark side of myself to be the shepherd, which is what Hoyt is. Hoyt's not a wolf.
Yeah, you texted me that today.
Hoyt's not a wolf, and Hoyt's not a sheep. He tries to be a wolf. He tries, but he isn't very good at it because it doesn't come naturally for him. And the only time that he tries to be a wolf is when he's trying to protect somebody vulnerable. Because throughout the movie, there's multiple moments where that vulnerability is used against him. It starts at the beginning when he tells him not to wear his wedding ring, and throughout the entire movie, he keeps ending up in situations where like there's women and children there. So it's going to dictate how he behaves because he is not a bad guy. He's a good guy. He doesn't want to hurt innocent people, but he does have a little bit of that wolf in him because, and especially after Alonzo just trained him all day to act like that wolf, Alonzo kind of fucked up because he woke up something inside of Hoyt that he probably never really knew was there. Yeah. But ultimately, he's not a wolf or a sheep, and I can relate to that a lot because I view myself as a shepherd, you know, and like I have the capacity to be powerful and ruthless if needed, but I do use that only to protect vulnerable people. Like that's when that comes out of me.
I also think that it was played in the nuance of Denzel Washington and the power of his performance. He wanted this to end. He was exhausted. He knew it was ending. Like this is you can't live like this forever. You can't, you know, like there's no way. Like it's like a drug addict, any kind of addict, or gambling, whatever. There's a relief almost when it ends. So it's like him. I think subconsciously he knew that Hoyt was going to end everything because it will hit everything that happened. We'll talk about this later. What happens afterwards? The shitstorm that's going to happen. The ripple effect of that. So. All right, rapid fire, training day edition. All right, your sub starts acting like an idealistic rookie, Jake Hoyt, and questions your methods. How do you respond?
If it's in a scene and it's consensual, I'm slapping him right in the face. But if it's not, and they're just being a dickhead, and it's like a pattern of this, I'll probably just stop talking to them. Like, you're just not my sub anymore.
Rapid fire, training day edition. Sub wants to train you instead.
Yeah, get rid of him immediately. Yeah. Get rid of
him. Rapid fire, training day edition. Alonzo level corruption induction.
I think you gotta clarify what you mean by this.
Oh, actually, that was here's the real question. Who would you want to smoke PCP with in training day? If you had to, if there's a gun to your head,
in the middle of traffic and
in the middle of traffic,
Snoop Dogg, duh,
yeah,
definitely Snoop Dogg.
Oh, that PCP, yeah,
or Macy Gray. Both
of them did amazing
with the long fingernails.
Absolutely incredible performances by both of them. Magnificently realistic too. All right. Would you rather training day? Would you rather long-term high protocol structure or passionate, messy, we could rob a bank and together energy?
Well, you know, I like to say long-term high protocol structure, but I have a bad track record of the Bonnie and Clyde thing. So I know it's not a good idea, but that's definitely my fetish. So, you know.
All right. Would you rather left ball or right ball?
Both of them. Fuck.
No, it has to be. You have to choose one. It's a would you rather.
I don't want to. I want to take them both out.
That's the game. Would you rather? You have to
Fine, left, I guess.
Left. Okay. I wonder if there's like a difference, like it when it hurts.
It does for some people. Yeah, sometimes they're different size, or one's like way more sensitive than the other. Actually, the real answer is I would test to see which one hurts more, and then I'd go for the one that hurts you more.
Okay. Would you rather consensual, right?
Mhm.
Forced to smoke PCP by a gun or a knife?
What kind of question is this? A gun, I guess.
No, by a gun.
You're a strange man, okay?
You have to choose a gun or a knife, which is
a gun. I said a gun.
Oh, I didn't hear you. Okay. All right. Alonzo BDSM roleplay. Would you rather be in the back seat of a police car with Alonzo for a BDSM roleplay, or his partner and someone in the back? You're in the front with Alonzo and someone's in the back. What would you rather do? Or Alonzo's doming you in the back seat of his Monte Carlo.
You're about to get me to admit to things that are going to make me lose my D card here, because I would definitely fuck with Alonzo. Okay, like he's got that big dog energy. I had a boyfriend that was a lot like Alonzo for a long time.
All right, many of us see Alonzo, and he takes relationships into dark, non-consensual DS dynamic, and with Alonzo, he's breaking a new submissive. So, what stands out about their power exchange, and how does it mirror the training that you've done?
So, let's see. How does it mirror twist? Well, it twists it because it's not BDSM. It is a non-consensual power exchange. I actually relate more to it. Like when I said I had a boyfriend that was a lot like him. Mm-hmm. That was my experience as being a submissive, but it wasn't a consensual BDSM relationship. It was somebody who slowly eroded my ability to choose and my sense of reality and my sense of self until, he would test me. He would do things to see if I would do what he said. He'd challenge me. He'd put pressure. He'd withdraw. He would hold things over my head, stuff like that. Like it. There are some of those tools that can be used in DS, like it's all revolves around reinforcement, right? So like narcissistic abuse is basically reinforcement of when you behave yourself and you do what they want, and then when you don't, they take away the reinforcement. So that's why it's so addictive, because you get addicted to the validation from the abuser and the praise, and when they treat you nice and all of that. And then as soon as they want to establish control again, they take it away, and it's like a drug, and it gets in this cycle. And I see that as what's going on here. So
yes, I
use reinforcement and punishment a lot in training, but it's things that are negotiated and consented upon. So the person knows what they're getting themselves into. They know they're being trained. Jake knows he's being trained to be a narcotics officer. He doesn't know he's being trained to be a corrupt patsy for Alonzo's plan. Like he didn't sign up for any of that shit. And that's what Alonzo's actually training him for.
Jake's death. Let's talk about Jake's death. He didn't die. Which moment do you think he was the closest he came to actually dying?
When he was in the bathtub.
When he's in the bathtub.
Yeah, those dudes were definitely going to kill him.
That
wallet saved his life. That was his kismet for the, like that moment right there is the moral lesson of the whole
movie. Could you explain?
Is that so he got the wallet from the girl who he saved that from the crackheads trying to rape her, who just happened to be Smiley's cousin, who's the one that has him in the bathtub about to kill him. And so he still has that wallet on him. And when he finds it, he immediately wants to kill him because he thinks that he got it in some nefarious way. But it ends up saving his life because he saved that girl, and that was that dude's cousin. And he calls her, and she confirms the story. And so he lets
the girl from the rape earlier.
Yeah. So Jake's character,
led to my favorite line.
Damn, I'm thirsty.
Yes.
Yeah.
Jake's character is what saves him in the end, you know? Like,
Yes.
the wallet is a symbol of that.
Yeah, that's a very, very good point.
The wallet could also be a symbol of divine intervention, too. You know, like, what are the odds that she happened to drop it and he happened to pick it up and he still has it in his pocket and that girl happens to be the cousin of that dude?
True.
Those are a lot of coincidences to save that dude's life.
Interesting. Let's talk about drugging subs. As soon as I, saw the PCP line, this one.
Naked. Ill.
I like that. Butt naked, ill.
I
I didn't know there was that many names for PCP.
Oh,
I
God,
only ever heard Angel Dust and
shout out to the Dust Brothers, Tame One, and all the Dust Brothers in New Jersey and New York. Dust was very strong, especially on the East Coast for a long time. There's tons of names for it. Let me see. That scene, Dave Chappelle did a great job. Did you ever see that Dave Chappelle sketch?
Which one?
Oh God, look up Dave Chappelle Training Day with Wayne Brady. Wayne Brady plays Alonzo, plays the Denzel Washington.
I think I did. I think I watched that the other day, and it's
like a jokey send off on Training Day. Like
I think I did watch that the other day. I'll have to look at it again.
It's so good. It's so good. But drugging subs. Did you ever deal with consensual drug play or intoxication play, as they say?
I don't get too into that because the risks involved. I know some people do. I try to withhold judgment if people are trying to be safe with what they're doing. However, I have a long history of witnessing bad things happen when people are doing drugs, and some of the drugs that people typically use in kink, like even poppers, are a lot more dangerous than people think they are. So personally, like I'm not trying to do anything that's going to cause somebody to have to go to the hospital. So I try to stay away from that. And when I vet my clients, when they apply, there is a part of my application that they have to commit to not being under the influence. Now, there's some like exceptions I might make, like for instance, like if somebody had a prescription for like Viagra and they wanted to put a chastity cage on and then have to take Viagra, that's pretty safe. It's prescribed for them. It's not an illegal thing. I'd probably be okay with something like that. But even poppers, which are really commonly used, cause hypoxia. They'll turn your lips blue, your fingers blue, and when you use that shit too much, it causes brain damage. So I just don't really recommend it too much. I'm not saying I've never done that, but I would say that I recommend using extreme caution and to try. I try not to do anything illegal, guys, because like this shit's dangerous, man. Like it seems like it's not a big deal, but BDSM's already really dangerous to begin with. So then when you start adding substances, and especially if the top is the one that's on substances who's in control, that's not a good situation.
And here's the thing. It's like you said, it's dangerous. BDSM is dangerous enough, and experiencing it sober, well,
that's the other thing. The BDSM is the drug. I always quote Dolly and say, like, I don't do drugs, I am drugs.
Yeah.
And I can get just as high from a scene as probably somebody can from cocaine.
You know what I mean? For days after a good scene.
Sometimes I am, depending on how hardcore it is.
I'm still, oh my God, Saturday. Shout out to everybody at Mischief Manor. Oh my God. All right, let's move it on. Alonzo basically plays Russian roulette with Jake's life multiple times. Do you see this as sloppy dominance or masterclass?
I touched on this earlier. I think Alonzo's in a place in his relationship with power where he's being reckless and he's taking unnecessary risks that probably end up contributing to him dying in the end. You know what I mean? Like, but that's how people behave when they have nothing left to lose. When you know you're going to die at midnight if you don't get done what you have to done or what you have to do, you're pretty desperate and you'll do anything. So I think, and you see that a lot in the King Kong scene when he starts pleading. That's the first time you see the weakness in Alonzo is when he's pleading for him to let him go. I want to go home. I want to go home. that whole time he knows exactly how not in control he is, but he's playing himself. He has to live in that fantasy to be able to continue to do that. So he's got this, that's another sign of that he's a narcissist, is there's this sense of invincibility sometimes that people get. They become delusional, and when he says stuff like, I'm always winning, I can't lose, like King Kong ain't got shit on me, he's gassing himself up because he doesn't have really much left in him to survive, you know.
So the soundtrack came out before Training Day, actually, because yeah, I believe it was around 9/11, and then like 9/11 happened, then it came out like the movie came out much later. Nelly was like the lead. I don't even remember the Nelly song, honestly. Do you remember the Nelly song in there? I don't remember. I remember Dr. Dre still.
Yeah,
DRE.
that's the song I always.
That's the song right on.
With the Monte Carlo on the hydraulics and
yeah, sexy, isn't it?
That's LA. That's LA all day.
Sexy, isn't it? It is. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I started saying that too.
Denzel, I watched the interview with Denzel where they did, you know, they have the director and they're asking him questions and they're talking about him being a villain, and he was like, it's sexy,
yeah.
like, you know, that's what they say.
The Pharoah Monch from Organized Confusion has a great song. The radio version is called "Got You." You know it. All right, hypothetical kink scene. Training Day has a lot of near-death scenes, right? So if you were recreated a Training Day scene style with a near-death or extreme peril moments that's similar to Training Day, would it be the bathtub scene?
I think probably 3 possible deaths would be enough for somebody to be a little. You don't want to go too far and psychologically fuck them up. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You can do that for sure. I've had one dude where I didn't even really get that crazy, but I did some improv stuff, and I told him that I was going to let his wife drop him off at my house, and I was going to tie him to a tree and let the animals at him. And he said that was the moment where he got so scared. He ended up running down St. Clair Avenue in fight or flight. He got his duffel bag and he was out in the hallway trying to figure out how to. I was like, what are you doing? And he was like, I'm trying to get out of here. And I was like, I'll show you the way out. And I walked him out the door, and he came to my party later and we talked about it, but he said that was the moment where he just straight up just went into fight or flight and was not, it wasn't a game anymore for him. So obviously he safe worded and we stopped the scene, but he, even once I went into an aftercare mode, he was so in shock that he didn't trust me. If I made a sudden movement, he was like, I'm going out the door. As soon as I turned my back, he was gone. So you got to be careful.
You do. What would be? Oh wait, no. What's one kinky moral or lesson you take from Training Day for your own dungeon?
Absolute power corrupts absolutely. Boom. That's a life lesson. That's why I'm Griselda Venum. That's why I named myself after the godmother. Power is awesome. It feels great. But as a dominatrix, the biggest lesson that I've learned in the last year is that you have to compartmentalize it and you can't let it take over your life, and you have to still cultivate humility, and you can't actually believe that you're a god, and you can't actually think that you deserve to be idolized. We're all still humans. I don't care if you're a dominatrix or a dom or whoever, fucking if you're the president of the United States. In the end, we're all human beings. So the thing about power is that it'll get you in the end, man. That's what gets you. You go too far and you take too many risks, and eventually you get in that mentality of I can't lose, and then you lose. And that's the thing about King Kong, man. When that motherfucker falls, you're gonna fall hard.
Definitely. All right.
Hard.
Let's look at Nick's notes. All right. Please forgive me. All right. I got boom.
Follow the money.
Follow the money. Original title. Oh my God. Original title was Rampart.
So Rampart, this Rafael Perez dude.
Sure, inspired.
Yeah. So he was a cop. So the Rampart. I know you mentioned it a little bit beginning, but the Rampart scandal, what happened a little after the movie was written. He wrote it in the early 90s, and he did a lot of research within the LAPD and with an IA be investigator and all that. And so he really knew the intricacies of how this corruption was working, and like from his life on the streets, and how the gang members would talk about how the cops were working. And so I wanted to say it about 5 years later or so is when the Rampart thing happened. And then all of a sudden his script went from being a really good story to being a prophecy, because he already had written it before Rampart happened.
Yes. Let's go down the notes. Originally, it was for Samuel Jackson and Matt Damon.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Eminem was also considered, but he ended up doing 8 Mile instead.
Yes.
Wasn't Matt Damon almost in Pulp Fiction too? Like, am I remembering that correctly?
I'm not sure. I could be right. Tobey Maguire.
I want to say like
Tobey
Maguire. Oh, wasn't that Spider-Man?
Yeah, he got Spider-Man after. He fought hard. He fought really bulked up and everything for it, and he did it. There's no traditional film score for the first hour. It's when Jake calls his wife from a payphone, desperate. That's when it changes. The car is a character. That's what I wrote. Final shootout had live rounds.
Can I mention something about the car and the Rafael Perez thing?
Yeah.
The license plate has the code. It has like a reference to Rafael Perez in the license plate code that they added to it as like an homage to who the story was based on. But Rafael Perez was the lead cop that got busted in the Rampart scandal, and that's who Alonzo's loosely based on.
The final shootout had live rounds. Like the same thing that happened in Rust with Alec Baldwin could have happened on Trading Day.
Yeah, I was thinking about this earlier when you were there is one question that you had mentioned something about like so on my bucket list I've always wanted to pistol whip somebody. Like it just seems like it would be really fun. But I also recognize how dangerous guns are, and they're not toys, they're tools, right? So I wouldn't bring an actual working gun in the dungeon. I'd probably use some kind of prop that was similar to that, like a foam gun or something that's not actually going to break their face. But I was thinking about that. Like, don't even bring a pretend one. Don't bring one you think's not loaded. Like, just don't do it, man. Don't play with real guns. Just don't do it. You can get the same psychological effect without the actual gun. So just please don't do this, guys. What?
I don't mean to be a Debbie Downer or anything, but I don't think there's a legal way to consensually pistol whip someone.
If it's with a foam one and I'm just doing the action.
Yeah, that's true.
That's what I'm saying. I wouldn't break their face.
You wouldn't really use it.
but just the effect of it. It's just like with breath play. You can get the same effect where they think they can't breathe without actually stopping the airflow.
All right, let's go through the notes. Fallen by Alicia Keys. Cucks him out the gate. What did Alonzo say to his wife? What did Alonzo say to his wife on the phone?
I don't remember.
In the very beginning of the movie, Jake's wife answers the phone, and Alonzo's already charming Jake's wife. Cucks him.
Oh,
right at the gate.
I thought you were saying Alonzo's wife, but yeah, I do remember that.
Yeah. Oh, coffee shop. Let Doms him from the beginning. Let it be load up my guns. The cuck holding. That was funny that you were joking around on Twitter about that. The classic devilish mentor relation. Smiles and cries. What else? Rape attempt. All right. Here's a question I wanted to ask you. I've been reading Virginia Desprit and watching Basemont and watching her documentary, and that's a lot of it's about rape survivors. So this is a question: when Jake stops the rape and gets beat up and then beats them up, and then Alonzo beats them up, but he does which not, but he eventually lets them go. Would you have had them arrested?
Hell no. Or yeah. I wouldn't let him go. Fuck that. No, because I'm Jake. I'm like I said, if I'm gonna go after somebody, it's gonna be some abusive man that's hurting somebody. I'm not gonna go after an innocent person. But I am a rape survivor. I survived an extremely violent and aggressive. Are you still there? You disappeared.
Yes, I'm here. I wanted to give you the screen.
Oh, okay. Sorry, you can do that if you want. I just got confused. I survived probably the worst thing that you can survive without actually dying. And so I know a little bit about, about this subject, but no, all these motherfuckers need to go to prison. I put one in prison for 7.5 to 27 years, and I'm going to keep fighting his parole and all the way up to the 27 years. And I hope that motherfucker dies in there. I hope he sees this interview one day, because that's just not a game. It's not a game. And I've been through this a lot, where people minimize abuse, they minimize sexual assault, they blame survivors for being put in the situation, they judge people. Actually, funny enough, I just had a situation yesterday where somebody said some real nasty things to me about it, and said a lot of things that tried to make me feel like what happened to me was my fault, and it wasn't my fault. And anybody who's watching this who is a survivor of rape or domestic violence or being abused, the only person whose fault it is the fucking psychopath who did it to you. And those people should be punished. And it's not snitching to put people like that in prison. It's not, like I grew up with a gang code. Like, you don't tell on people, you don't call the cops. There's an exception when it comes to people who hurt vulnerable people. People who are sexual predators, people who are violent predators, those people all need to go to prison. Fuck that. Lock them up.
Thank you for sharing that, Griselda.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Okay, shall we continue? The big fight. If someone came to your house, right, and you are Alonzo, you did all that shit, would you leave? Would you leave him on the roof?
He had to. He looked at his watch. It was almost midnight. He had to go.
Yeah, didn't he have a gun? You didn't just shoot him? Something to bash his head in? Something?
You got to remember, he's also trying to get away with what he's doing with as few complications and fatalities in the process as possible. Because, like, even when the Roger scene, when the guy accidentally gets shot, that adds, like, now that's another problem. He's got to try to cover it up. So
yeah. Okay, so you shot me in the ass.
Player to player, pimp to pimp.
Pimp to
That's
pimp.
one thing. I say that a lot.
I say that a lot too. But okay, so Jake the white boy ended up with the money. Did he return it? How is he not in a hospital after a day like that? And he just walks into the house.
Did he end up with the money? I thought Alonzo still had the money because he goes to meet the people.
No, he took the.
Did he take it?
He walks out with the money, with the bag. And they all know he has the money. He didn't get robbed. He got killed right then. This guy never gets killed.
I don't know how Hoyt would have approached that, because the thing is, I think that dude's probably going to feel so guilty about the shitty things that he participated in that he's going to put his own ass on the line to turn in that evidence. But that's just my read of him, is that I think his values are important enough to me. I'm the same kind of person. Like, I frequently will do things even if I get fucked over, because I know that's what the right thing to do. Like, it might harm me to do it, but I'm just going to do it anyway. But that's what having integrity is when you do things that align with your values, regardless of whether they benefit you or not. Like, if you're willing to do something that you believe in, even if it's going to hurt you, that means you have integrity. And Jake, throughout the movie, his integrity is pushed, and he definitely does things that he doesn't believe in. But I think in the end, he probably turns everybody in.
So, here are some, because of the media. Alonzo is dead. He's killed by the Russian mafia, the LAPD. The media spin the death as heroic, as they always do. Shown in a radio broadcast, which buys the department some time to cover. Jake stole the $1 million, the part Alonzo's crew planned to keep. Plus, he has his badge. He's got Alonzo's
Dude, that
badge.
was my one of my favorite parts of the movie, when he snatches that shit and said, "You don't deserve this."
So he's positioned as a clean hero who survived the day. But what happens to the rest of the crew? That was Sunshine's first thing. What about his crazy crew?
I made a list, not about the crew, but I made a list of like possible things that happened to Jake after this.
All right, if you're gonna dom, you're doming anyone in that crew.
Mm-hmm.
Right, who are you going? Who are you doming? Not Denzel. You Dr. Dre, The guy who got shot, or the guy with the suit. Right? Was there another guy?
Let me look at a picture of him real quick.
So while you do that, basically, what happens to the rest of the crew? Internal affairs, major investigation. Jake knows everything. The fake warrant, murder of Roger, the money split, the attempt on his life, the broader corruption. After a surviving witness with physical evidence, cash. He's almost certainly he's going to report it, and that triggers a major internal probe. Like I said before, follow the money. That was the first thing I said. Follow the money. Turned in $3 million. The missing $1 million is now with Jake, right? Forensic accountant discrepancies in the raid paperwork will expose theft, and the crew can't explain it.
That's true. Although, so here's the thing. At the very last scene, remember the part where they're in Roger's house and Denzel starts reading off like a pretend news script, like this afternoon, officer blah 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 was killed serving a high risk warrant. Da, 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 da. But at the end, it's about Alonzo. So that tells me, right? He got killed. It got covered up by the three wise men.
Yeah.
So who knows? Like they might have more pull to be able to cover that up.
Yeah, arrest, indictments, badge loss. The three wise men, the higher ups. Tom Berenger, shout out to Serengeti for Chicago doing Denny. He's the Berenger. Three wise men could face demotion, forced retirement, quiet resignation. But you know, darker fan theory. I know I read this. Jake becomes corrupted by the money system. Yeah,
he's definitely super fucked up after this. That's for sure.
Oh God, yeah, totally.
Here were my things. I put Jake quits being a cop and opens a daycare.
Yeah. Okay.
Jake takes a position in the IAB and investigates those guys. Jake doesn't have the evidence, but Alonzo is dead. He can't tell anyone he's going to prison. What's he gonna do? That's what I said. In the end, Jake tried to be the wolf to catch the wolf, but he is the shepherd. He's allowed to walk away and let the bad guys be the wolf. That was
if Jake walks into a dungeon, right? Jake walks into a dungeon party where everyone's nice and welcoming. What role would you think he'd play? What fetishistic role?
He'd definitely be sucking my strap.
Yeah, Jake would be sucking.
I have him on his knees.
I could imagine him being a gimp, not wanting to think after everything he's been through.
He's probably like a sucking on toes. He seems like a toe sucker.
He seems like a toe sucker. Mm-hmm. All right. Let's rewrite the ending.
I like the daycare story.
The daycare story.
Yeah, like training day 2, daddy daycare. He might have quit being a cop after that, honestly. You know what I mean? Like if I'm Jake, I might have just been like, fuck this. I'm done. I'm fucking out.
He becomes a podcaster. LA podcast. He becomes a podcaster. Yeah, totally.
Whistleblower.
Whistleblower.
The three wise men kill him. That's really what happens, probably.
They broadcast it on YouTube. All right. If you just saw this movie today, with all your experience with your trauma, with your deep experience and knowledge of BDSM culture, dominance and submission, and mindfuckery, how would you take this movie if you saw it today?
Same as I did, probably. Well, yeah, I mean, I understand it a lot more now. Like, I relate to it a lot more because I have a lot, like, so what's interesting about this, right? If I would have had the understanding of this movie when I was 11 or 12 that I do now, I probably would have avoided a lot of pain in life because unfortunately I ended up in a lot of situations with people like Alonzo, and I wish somebody would have talked to me about the difference between a bad guy and a good guy when I was that age, because the problem for me was I had a dad who was a bad guy, and my mom's kind of a bad lady too, but my dad was a bad guy, but he always portrayed himself as a good guy, and I idolized him. So, and like I said, he took me to see that movie. I'm sure he sees himself in Alonzo. He, had he talked to me at that age about the difference between manipulative men and men who have values like Hoyt, I wouldn't be Griselda Venum today, honestly. So I'm not saying that I regret it, but I am saying that I wish that I would have had the knowledge about narcissistic abuse and manipulation, which is it's throughout the whole movie. That's what he's doing.
Yes.
You know?
Yes. And I am so glad you're talking about this in such an open way on this show. Thank you very, very much. Thank you. How is this movie aged?
It's a fucking classic, man.
It is. It aged.
It hasn't aged. It's the same.
Yeah, well, it's like a fine wine. Every time you see it, it's like, damn, that's a good shot. Or God, damn,
or I catch a line I didn't catch, like this time when I caught get the bathtub ready or whatever.
It's
make sure the bathtub's clean.
All right. What kind of musical would this be?
They'd probably have to involve a lot of rap music, right? I would think.
Yeah. I can think, Dr. Dre could produce all the beats.
Mm-hmm.
Daz could do it. Daz needs work, it seems, according to Instagram. He's got some issues with Death Row Records. But yeah, get everybody, the DHPG together and corrupt. And
there would definitely be some kind of
Pharaoh Monch in there too.
There'd be like a group dancing scene during the King Kong, where all the whole neighborhood's out there. There'd be kind of like a flash mob kind of situation, I think.
You think gunshots, the drum beats.
There's a guy that I've seen on Twitter that does that. There's one video where they did a Twista song, and he's got these two, I don't know what kind of guns they are, but they're out in the country or whatever, and he's shooting the guns along to Twista rapping, and it's dope. If I come across it, I'll send it to you. You'd like it.
Now we're not going to be remaking this, but they remade White Men Can't Jump.
Did they?
Yes. You don't even realize it. That's how forgettable it was.
Oy.
Can this be remade?
It shouldn't
be. And
if
so, with who?
It shouldn't be.
No,
I think my opinion on sequels is that if the movie's fucking good, like, don't try to redo it. Don't fuck it up, because it's always going to be disappointing. It's never going to be the same. It's never going to be Denzel's improvisations. Like, you can't replace him, really. I don't know who you'd replace him with.
Timothy Chalamet? Yeah.
Who's that?
No, he's Wonka.
I don't know these people's names.
Timothy Chalamet. Oh my God, Marty
What's
Supreme. Trust me, Marty Supreme, Wonka, Dune. He's like every a lot of.
I haven't seen any of those movies. I know the name, but I don't know who he is.
That would be good. It was a joke.
Idris Elba would be a good Alonzo.
Oh my God, yeah. No, I was Timothy Chalamet was a joke. Idris Elba is amazing. Luther is an incredible, absolutely incredible show. All right, we rewatch it.
Dude, I've seen it like 80 100%. Times.
It's a great. I suggest you rewatch it. Seriously, anybody out there, right? Anybody out there, you need a little energy boost. Anything, you put any part of the movie on, like, and just fast forward a little bit, you'll get to a part almost anywhere. You'll just give you that King Kong energy, right?
Yeah, there's so much action.
Yeah. All right. Thank you very much. So, what films have you recently seen? Which ones are you looking forward to seeing?
What have I recently seen? I just recently watched Taxi Driver again.
Nice. Martin Scorsese.
To be honest with you, I don't know. I don't really ever see movie previews, so I have no idea what movies are coming out. Like, I don't know. You'll have to send me some recommendations. I watch a lot of old movies.
Yeah, me too. Mm-hmm. Me too. I did see some new good ones. I highly suggest There's Never Change with Joe Firestone's in it. Joe Firestone is incredibly funny. She's a FOT. We did a show with Chris Kessler. Shout out to Phil Connor from the band Blazer and studio in the West in New Brunswick. Joe Firestone's in this movie called Never Change. It is so incredibly batshit crazy and silly, and it reminds me of like a Wet Hot American Summer energy in high school. Let's put it that way. Yeah, it's so hilarious. It's hilarious. Yeah, very good stuff. Also, Bassenoir. I'm watching that. I want to do that.
Oh yeah, you sent me a link to that.
Yeah, I definitely want to do that. I want to do something special for that. That's a very important.
I want to rewatch True Romance. I just recently rewatched Natural Born Killers, which I think we should do. We're doing that next, aren't we?
We'll do whatever you want. You're the crime
Natural Born Killers. Let's do it.
All right, let's do Natural Born Killers. Let's look at the chat. See if there's any more things in the chat. We got Head Cheese. Hiya, Griselda. I'm
Cheese.
Cheese. We
Oh, Cheese.
know each other. Not
Cheese is a
sure.
good guy.
Nice. Thank you, Cheese, for watching. I truly appreciate your support. I'm not sure if I have watched Training Day, but this conversation is really interesting.
Thanks,
It's
Cheese.
interesting
Thanks for
checking out
watching and being here.
Thank you, Head Cheese. Please like and subscribe. And trust me, Training Day is a good movie. It doesn't matter. Like, it doesn't matter if you're not into cops movies or crime movies. It's not an action movie. It's not. It's a.
It's about good and evil.
It's more important than just the movie. You know what I mean? It has to be. It's a modern classic.
Mm-hmm.
All right, we got some more. Head Cheese. I'm coming up with so many improvised movie lines. It's amazing.
Yeah, he's a master.
Miss Cynthia. I don't know.
Hi, Cynthia.
Hi, Cynthia. I don't think I've ever seen a Denzel Washington performance that hasn't blown me away. Absolutely correct.
He's a talented guy.
Like I said, W. Kamau Bell has a podcast. Denzel Washington is the best actor ever, period. But when I was sick, his performances in the Spike Lee movies, those are something I always looked for. Movies were all I had when I was sick sometimes. Sometimes you're alone, you all you have is a phone or a TV and a bed. And at that moment, you search for movies. And you could always count on an emotional performance from Denzel Washington that connects and that does stir something inside you. You know what I mean? This is definitely one of those movies. Head Cheese says Denzel Washington is such a great answer. And Miss Cynthia, Fallen, Man on Fire. All right, excellent. Yeah. yes. Well,
he was in also Malcolm X and
Malcolm X is incredible. That's
American
one of those movies.
Gangster. American Gangster would be a good one.
Ridley Scott, American Gangster, all of them are absolutely incredible. Please, everybody, go. We get 15% off all inventory at lockedinlust.com with offer code YKF and listen to us on Spotify. At YKF, your kinky friends with Nicholas Tanek. Lady Griselda, how can we contact you? How can people serve you?
You can go to my official website, www.madamegriseldavenum.com. You can catch me on X, is usually the social media platform I post on the most, but I'm also on Instagram. I am on FetLife. I am on Blue Sky, which I don't use too much, and then my content can be purchased and you can DM with me if you subscribe to my loyal fans. I have a couple other clip sites I'm working on, but the majority of my content can be found on loyal fans. You can also just tribute to DM me on Twitter or Discord or something like that. I think that's all my links, right? You can go to you can find more links on my website or on my Twitter. So,
all right. And for anybody out there, like I said, if you can get 50% off at lockedinlust.com with offer code YKF. Anybody in chastity right now, Griselda?
Do I have anybody in chastity?
Yes.
Always. Cynthia was just in here. She's been in a cage for, I think it's almost 2 years. No release. No release. She texts me every Wednesday.
Every Wednesday. Okay.
That's how I know it's garbage day, is when she does her chastity.
That's how you know it's garbage day. All right, everybody. Griselda, thank you. Thank you for your insight. Thank you for your time, and thank you for your dog. Yeah,
old Charlie.
Yeah, Griselda, are you a wolf or a sheep? I know the answer, but we like to hear you say it.
I'm a shepherd.
You're the shepherd.
Griselda is a wolf. Griselda's a wolf. Big time.
Everybody, please read a book. Go to yourkinkyfriends.com. I have 3 books out. You can get them on Amazon through Kindle. Your Kinky Friends, Chip Black Nail Polish, and The Coolest Way to Kill Yourself. I'm working on a new book, The Coolest Way to Save Your Life. And everything comes together. And so, yes, if there's any stories that you basically want closure on, I suggest please reach out. I'm a nice guy and I'm always open. Please reach out to me. You know what I say, be cool, be kind, keep an open mind. The YKF Cinema Show is produced by Nicholas Tanek and Sunshine Music. Be cool, be kind.
Cinematic and erotic thrill.